Nobody wants to be an elder. We only need to look at the faces of women in their 50s in the public view to know that being old isn't considered something valuable or something that we should put forward. And I'm not impatient to start looking really wrinkly. Nevertheless, there are psychological periods of life. I remember what it was like to feel my youth. I remember distinctly being 18. And there's one particular occasion. I was at a gig in London, and I don't even remember what the band was, but I had this sense of this is the music of my generation. I had this sense of standing at the crest of a wave and being carried on this wave of newness of which I was part, and that I could feel the power of it. And it was intoxicating. And I'm not in that phase now. I'm in a different phase. And I want to find the wealth and richness of that. I don't want to move into my elder phase. And I'm using elder in that old wise person sense or just wise person sense. I don't want to move into that phase, refusing it, clinging to something which isn't mine anymore, which is my youth. I'm not young now. I'm ready, I think, to be an elder. And so these are a few of the things that I've thought of. The first thing I think that will make me an elder or a mature person or a wise person is to reverse the tendency of consumption and production. I often have to relearn my own lessons. I made a video about not consuming in 2019, and I didn't buy anything that I wasn't just renewing as a product. And I feel like in 2025, I want to return to that kind of mentality. I don't mean as a kind of challenge and making videos about how I've succeeded in not buying things. I just mean turning an inner switch away from consuming and towards producing. At this stage of my life, and I'm going to be 55 towards the end of 2025, I've accumulated a lot of experience. I've read hundreds, possibly thousands of books. I have listened to the voices of thousands and thousands of people, both in real life and on screen. And do I need more, or do I need to sit with what I've already got and process that in some way? Weave with what I've got. And um, archetypes of elder women often show them weaving, like all the threads of life are in their hands, and they weave a tapestry with it. And so, yeah, 2025 is the year of the tapestry. Number two, a wise person knows the value of things. Everything that I buy this year must be something that will hold value, either be essential, like a spoon, or something that will hold its value because it's high quality, it's well made, other people are going to want to have it. It's in some way disconnected from the flow of time and fads and fashions and gimmicks. It's just quietly holding its own store of value, like antique furniture. It's something that I'm going to look at in 5 or 10 years and think, that was a good purchase. And I could sell for a similar price. So nothing time stamped by fashion, nothing that is cheap materials, nothing where the only value is in the name. I mean, those aren't things I tend to do anyway, but to really cure myself of the enchantment of modern day magicians to buy things that we do not need. So this next one is also connected to value, but more the idea that I'm constantly aware of real value, meaning that I'm aware of the value of my time and that what I do is adding or subtracting in some way, and that I'm going to understand that time spent with a close friend or a family member is always going to be more valuable than a couple of hours watching a series. It's really basic. And yet it's one of the things that I think most people, maybe I'm speaking too generally, but a lot of people just don't see, or you get really just hypnotized by a moment to moment interaction and reaction to things that are going on around you. And you just fall asleep again and you forget and you wake up and go, no, why am I doing this? This isn't, it's not bringing me or anybody else anything. And staying true to that. This one is something that I've had to learn multiple times because I'm an overthinker. It is pay attention to the energetic quality of things, pay attention to the energetic signature of people and places and activities and things. Because the mind brings illusion when it's disconnected from the heart or from the emotional body. As in, we all know the difference between something is good on paper and something you feel in here in your heart. And I stayed in relationships that the emotional energy had gone out of because nothing was wrong on paper, or no bad words had been said, or no arguments had been had. And I've done that multiple times. And I have to keep coming back to the energetic body and how it's reacting to the world outside. And becoming an elder is doing that for yourself, like really living your authenticity because you are energetically attuned to the people and places that you have in your life. And modeling that so that other people will do it more naturally, and you give permission to others to do it, even if you don't didactically, make a video like me and say, this is what I'm going to do. All these points are interconnected and overlap in some way. But this one is maintaining hygiene, psychological hygiene, energetic hygiene. It's very difficult to evaluate the value of something, even financially. What does it mean to you? I'm going to buy that. Is that worth X amount of hours of work? Is the dopamine hit I'm going to get from it worth the time and cost of this? And the way you're going to be able to evaluate things clearly is by maintaining good psychological hygiene. And that means things like meditating. And it goes back to the first point of cutting down consumption so that you're not just flooded with other people's words and thoughts, but that you're sitting with your own, and you have time to process them and acknowledge them and let go of things that need to be let go of, and maintain and feed and nurture positive habits. So that's a kind of base that will allow the other habits to sit more comfortably and be more likely that I will come through on everything else. You have ways that you do things. You have the way that you go to work. You do things without thinking. You just have these habits and they go on. And as you get older, perhaps more and more of your life is built on habit because you're settled in many ways. You might have lived in the same place for many years. And it's natural that we have habits. We can't, it's kind of chaotic to eat a different time every day or to change your diet every couple of weeks. But habits are meaningful when they become rituals, when you're present in what you're doing, and things that you like, certain moments of the day, like waking up and having a ritual, like the yogic practice of a salutation to the sun, is really telling your spirit, this is another day. Like time, the universe, God gave me another day on this earth, and I'm acknowledging that. I'm not just taking everything for granted. I'm not forgetting that I'm in this game called life. I'm acknowledging it and I'm seeing it. And although I'm doing ordinary things like having a shower and getting changed and cycling to work or whatever it is that you do, it's imbued with presence and meaning. It's a way to connect with spirit and to live a more meaningful life. I think the loss of ritual has been catastrophic. Okay, the last one I've got is to live at your own speed. The speed of time is perceived so differently depending on what we're doing and who we're doing it with and different periods of our life. Time is completely relative. And it's really easy to get into the kind of hegemony of clock time and all of these exterior things that press in on you and say, this is time. This is the speed of life. And while, yeah, I can't just say, do you know what, I plan to do to do this administrative task 2 years from now. No, I know that there are obligations and that they are connected to calendar dates. However, what I can do is refuse to live psychically, emotionally, and in an inner way at the speed dictated by the news cycle or by the rush of the constant fragmented rush of voices and images online. That's the end of this video. Thank you for listening. I salute you if you're still here. I'd really like to know what you think. Are these things that you associate with being an elder? If not, what are your associations? And what are your plans for 2025? Do you have any rituals that you do and would recommend to others? Happy New Year and a wonderful 2025.